Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you doing? And I hope your fasting is going on well in Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, today is 22nd of Ramadan, and Alhamdulillah, it's going on very beautifully with our prayers and dua. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today is gonna be our 11th episode for our journey together through the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm Hudam Al Mazroui. I'm from Oman, and these YouTube videos have been designed in such a way for us to connect together, to share our feelings, and to learn how to cope with this pandemic and how we can move on, find out some areas in ourselves, in our personalities, in our different areas of our life where we can reflect upon, where we can discuss and check upon our feelings and how we can develop ourselves more. So today's topic is about ourselves as people and what personality character that you actually have. This video is more suitable for someone who feels that you have got a pleasing personality, or you feel like you are a too nice person, that in such a way you feel people are taking advantage of you. This video is for this kind of behavior. Do you feel that you are not in your own thoughts? Suddenly you are thinking, but you are not in your own head. You are in someone else's head. Let us say, instead of me thinking about what I want and how I feel, I'm thinking about someone else's feeling. I'm thinking about what the other person might feel about me, or what is he thinking about me. If you feel you have this kind of pattern that is going on in your head, then this is one area that we can discuss about and where we need to improve ourselves. Because it's not just random that we are thinking about other people thinking, or we are worried what other people are thinking about us, or we are scared that someone might reject us or someone might judge us. It's a very common pattern by many of us, and I'm the one also. I mean, I have been there and I'm still struggling, but I'm learning to move on and learn with some practices that I'm going to share with you. If I'm going to share with you a little story about myself, I have been a very isolating child. In school, I have been a very lonely child. I didn't really like to mix with any other kids. I was very shy, even when people come to visit at home. And I just like to stay lonely and not mixing up with any other person. And I had this behavior of pleasing people. I always thought that my happiness would come from pleasing others in every way and giving zero priority to my own thoughts, to my own feelings. This is what I used to believe. And I used to say yes to every request. And even if I mean no, I always say yes. And when there are some situations, whether at work, in school, or daily life, if there is a situation where I feel like it's my chance to speak up, to stand for myself, or to stand for my family or whatever, I had this behavior of stay silent, not to speak up, being scared of judgment, being scared of being rejected. And until later on, I realized that this behavior does not serve me really well. It started to cause a lot of discomfort in my life. I felt really not comfortable in my own skin, and I felt like I have got some potential in me and I can use that potential. But if I don't overcome this behavior of thinking about others all the time and pleasing others without giving any priority to myself as a person, I realized that I'm not gonna really discover my potential, the genius that is inside me. So If you are in this situation, if you feel that you are not in your own head, you keep thinking about what other person is thinking of you, you keep thinking about what other person is saying about you, and you just want to fix people, you want to fix their thoughts about you, or you want just to do things to make people feel good about themselves. If you are in this situation, then I'm telling you, this is an area where you can grow, you can change, and there are some practices that I'm going to share with you that you can use from today or every day, and see how it's going to change your behaviors. The first thing that, and of course these practices, since I started using them myself to change the behavior that I used to have, it's affecting and it's changing slowly, bit by bit, because especially if this behavior is with you from very, very long time, from childhood, then it's not that easy to change it just in one day or in 1 week or in 1 month. It takes some time, some patience. So with energy, with effort and time, then we can all move on from this pleasing attitude, pleasing behavior, and really become a more empowering and confident person. So the first thing I advise you to do is to journal your thoughts. If you have a notebook and a pen, every day try to write on 3 to 4 pages, whatever is going on in your mind. If you are thinking about what your colleague is thinking about you, or if you are just sitting in your room, or you are wondering about work and what is going to happen with this pandemic, what if they did not give me my income, my salary, whatever is going on in your head, just write it down, journal it in your notebook every day, whether it is in the morning or at night, anytime you prefer. Try to journal your thoughts, because if our thoughts are just here and we don't see them in paper, then it would be difficult for us to understand our thoughts and to realize what is going on here. So the first thing is to write down our thoughts on a notebook every day and check, are you thinking in your own head or are you thinking in someone else's head? And second is your happiness. I remember from my life, my personal life, I used to believe that happiness comes from making others feel good and not giving any priority to myself as a person. But later on, when I grew up and I have my own kids right now, I have 2 daughters, I realized that if I don't give any priority to myself as a person, then I can't really serve the people around me very well. So it's very, very important to understand this. I think the environment where we are at right now, the society, the community, the culture, the working environment, education system, are designed in such a way to make us believe that happiness come from others, happiness come from fixing other people's thoughts, or happiness comes from achieving the career success or the salary raise or the promotion. But actually the happiness comes from within us. And I realized this at a very later stage, and the question that I keep asking myself every day to train my mind to really find out the areas that make me happy as a person is, I ask myself this every morning: how can I make myself happy today? I'm telling you, at the beginning when I started asking this question to myself, it was very, very hard. I felt I don't deserve to ask this question to myself, and I thought I'm selfish and something bad is gonna happen to me. And later on, I just realized that these are just thoughts, and I need to really change my thoughts to become more empowering and more fulfilling thoughts. And I realized that every person on this earth deserves to be happy, deserves to be fulfilled, and we need to ask ourselves this question every single day, especially if you feel like uh, you are not giving much priority to yourself, you don't see yourself as a person, and you keep looking at others and what they are doing, but you don't really reflect on yourself. Just ask yourself this question every day in the morning: how can you make yourself happy today? Whether it can be simple things like having a walk in the garden, or making a call calling your old friend from school, or maybe having a conversation with your child, or giving yourself a break from the hectic work, or maybe massaging yourself, having like a spa session in your own bathroom, or taking a nap. Whatever you think that can make you feel happy and satisfied with whatever you are doing. And the third thing is to remember, to recall how to feel our feelings again. I believe the society and the environment that we were raised in it trained us to suppress our feelings. It was like, it's bad to be angry, it's bad to be worried all the time, or it's not acceptable to express your feelings, or to express your anger, or to express how you actually feel. It was like you shouldn't feel those feelings, and you should just be normal, be happy, and just be okay with whatever is going on. And that can really affect us without us knowing. It's very, very important to learn how to feel again, whether we feel anger or sad or disappointed or whatever. Once we learn how to feel those feelings again, accept them, and then find out what is the thought, what is the thinking pattern in our heads that is making us feel this way. I'm just going to give you an example here. Let us say I have been feeling guilty that I'm not giving much time to my kids. I'm a student, I'm doing my PhD at the moment, and I have been getting this feeling that that I'm having this guilt feeling that I'm not spending much time with my kids because I'm focusing on my studies. So then I accepted this feeling. Okay, so I was writing down in my notebook that I'm feeling this feeling of guilt. I'm not feeling really good about myself because, and then I'm tracking it down and writing it that, okay, because I believe that I'm not spending enough time with my kids, I'm selfish, I'm focusing on my studies or whatever. So then when I write down my thoughts and I write why I'm thinking this way, why I'm thinking this way, the final conclusion that I end up with is that I'm not good enough and I need to prove myself, I need to be perfect, I need to make everyone happy around me, and then I realize that we can't really be perfect, and we can do whatever we can with the available resources we have, the available time, the available effort, but we can't be perfect. It's our nature. We are human beings. It's fine to do mistakes. It's fine to be tired, to rest. So I realized that this pattern is very, very common. Most of the people I meet every day have got this feeling that we are not enough. We need to prove ourselves. We need to really work hard to prove ourselves to the society, to the people, to the family that we fit in. And no matter what we do, it can never be enough. This is what everyone is like saying. Whatever we do, it can never be enough. So I realized this thought is not serving us, is not serving me as a person, and I had to change my thought. When I was writing it down, I realized that, okay, so this is the thought that is making me feel guilty and shame. So after realizing that, you need to think about doing two things. So once you accept how you feel, which is number one, and then the second one is understand why you are feeling that way by writing in your notebook. So whether you are feeling angry because someone judged you or someone did not treat you well or whatever, so you write it down and then you understand what is the real thought behind that feeling. And then finally is to realize now what are the changes that we can make. We can do two things. One is either to change the meaning we have towards that situation or towards that thought or towards that person, or we need to change the action that we are doing. Let me give you an example. If I want to change the meaning towards a situation, let us say I have got this pandemic, we have got this pandemic, all of us, and the coronavirus pandemic, and some of us might internalize that, okay, so how can I prove myself to others that I am capable to cope with this pandemic, or how can I be perfect, or which is not serving us in any way. So for this situation we need to change the meaning. Instead of us trying to prove ourselves to be perfect, to be very good, to be pleasing, what about if we focus on whatever is available at the moment, and we believe that we are already good enough in our own skin, and it's okay to feel comfortable in whatever we are doing, and not to blame ourselves, because I think our tendency to blame ourselves, to judge ourselves, to point our fingers towards ourselves, to make ourselves feel bad, does not help us. So if we change the meaning that we internalize towards the situation, towards the people around us, towards ourselves, I think the situation is gonna get better a lot. So let us say if we change the meaning to a more empowering one, is like we have the right to be happy with our families, to live a more peaceful life, and what matters right now is to be healthy, to protect ourselves, to be present with our families, and to use our time very much in a way that makes us productive for ourselves and for our kids and families. So this is one, to change the meaning. And sometimes if the meaning is already, if you felt that the thoughts that you have got is more confident thoughts, more fulfilling thoughts, so sometimes we need to change the action that we are doing. Let us say the meaning that I have towards the situation is like, it's okay, so I'm present with my family, I love to be happy, and everything is fine, but I'm really feeling bored, or I'm not really excited to do whatever I'm doing at home. So sometimes I need to find out what are the actions that I can do that can excite me or that can uplift me. So I came up with this new routine, which is doing yoga at home, or doing some stretching exercises, or to try and be more playful with my kids and enjoy my time with them by being really present with them. So this was one example. You can think of many examples of actions that you might need to change to make you more excited and uplifted. So these are some of the tips that I have given you right now, and I think by using or by practicing these tips and whatever practices that you have on your own, it can really help us to understand what are the thoughts we have here, and to really understand ourselves, why we are feeling in that way, what is the thought that is triggering that feeling that we have, and how we can change ourselves to become better and more confident about ourselves and more comfortable in our own skin. So I hope this is helping you in some way, and I hope you stay safe. Protect yourselves with your families, and God blessings be upon all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.